Darling, how are you? How's your anxiosometer? Quite high because we couldn't work the tech. Tech always makes me anxious.
My earphones, but I'm going to I hear you though. Hello, you.
How are you, darling?
What I when I get anxious, and I was getting worked up now because we couldn't work at the tech, and you look so cool and calm. Mind you, I managed to look cool, but inside I was going, oh my god, I can't get this to work.
I know. I think when you rely on tech, you just have to go with it. It's like traffic. It's like when someone says, I'm in traffic, and you say, no, you are traffic. Because if you're in traffic, you are traffic. Because everyone in traffic is going, I think I'm in traffic, but you are traffic. How is your anxiety this week?
Look, it is ramping up a bit. I worked 6 days, although today I have to say I played golf. I mean,
Good.
I took an old man, but I loved it. I took my son, my nephew, and a friend. It was wonderful walking around just before the hailstorm hit us. Oh. And I had a lovely lunch, and I have to say to everyone, I had a great afternoon nap. I love afternoon naps on a Sunday.
I love a nap. My friend Laura Bates calls it a kipsy boodle. If you sleep during the day, it's a kipsy boodle. If you sleep at night, it's just sleep. Now, during the week, you said that you were in a shopping centre and you were socially distancing, and there were some young people who didn't. And you told one of them off, and he said, okay, old man, or something like that to you. I just wanted to check how his injuries. Is he still in A&E? Is he out of A&E? How is he?
Well, when you walk in the garden, you have to dig a bit deeply, yes.
Those flower beds are coming along nicely. Now, there are a few things I want to talk to you about. One of them is comfort eating, and then Alison said, let's add day drinking, because she started day drinking, but she did say only do it after lunch, but she does have lunch at 9:30. So we thought we'd ask you, why are we doing it? What can we do about it, darling?
Well, the thing is, and there was that meme a couple of weeks ago, you think we've got it bad now. In 20 years' time, we're going to be run by people who were brought up by day drinkers.
I know. It's absolutely true, isn't it?
And, joking aside, alcohol's never a joke. And as you know, this country, in Australia, we were going to actually not sell alcohol during COVID.
Really?
It's essential. It's essential. In South Africa, it wasn't.
Really? I used to go into the bottle shop.
Not to be, and it definitely decreased domestic violence and all those things. But actually, people have been using that and comfort eating as a way to cope. And even I was looking at results of a survey amongst young people in the UK now, 12 to 25, You Cope and Young Minds. And 60% of the survey sample were overeating. Not drinking, luckily, at 12 yet. So you can extrapolate into our sort of age group or whatever, more people are drinking. You've got to watch that. And again, it comes down to that mindful stuff in a way. But what's fascinating about this study too, 4 out of 10 young people with no mental health issues before COVID have now said they're really stressed, right? And 6 out of 10 people with pre-existing conditions are feeling more of the pinch and more stressed and overeating and not coping. And it's wonderful in a way when you look at young people, you think, well, they're connected, right? Because they're always on their phones, and it just shows you that the face-to-face is so important, and certainly in that age group. And when schools go back, certainly in the UK, and as we go on further here, we're going to have to look at that with our youngsters. The nice thing is a couple of people said, actually, we're feeling less stressed because there's no bullying. That was a lovely, and that's also quite sad. You're not bullied in your own home, hopefully for most people anyway. I went off topic there, but it was just something I read today, but it links to that. And
what can we do to stop? Like, I am finding myself genuinely, I am kind of laughing about it. I think I'm comfort eating. And what is comfort eating? Well, I comfort exercising in my, as I like to call it, activewear, inactivewear. What can I do about it? You said earlier, when I said to you on Thursday that I'd eaten an entire cake, just watch the guilt.
Yeah, don't feel guilty, of course. Again, one of those memes, and I'm sending memes to everyone. Looking at how we're coping, I love these memes. And there's this wonderful one with Whoopi Goldberg putting down her dark glasses going, waistband, you're in danger, girl. I'm not doing the Whoopi Goldberg accent. And, it's true. We all are obviously stuck at home and eating. But when we get stressed, there's a response that you want to just self-soothe, and there's nothing better than self-soothing with chocolate, actually. Exercise, well, we know intellectually exercise makes us feel better. But, you look at those dumbbells or the running machine, and then you look at your cake and you go, you know what? And that's human nature. and it's something and I absolutely, we'll come to the end of the program about what we should do about our mental health and as we move forward. But, today I had chips and fish and chips for dinner and a glass of wine with the family. And it's lovely, although I didn't have battered fish. So that's the other way of doing it. So you just tweak a little bit, try and cut down a whole lot of added sugar, and then at times allow yourself. But don't feel guilty, because that shame and guilt feeds more anxiety and stress, and that's not good for your mental health either.
Guilt's so pointless, isn't it? It's such a funny thing. You think, oh, what's the point in it? What's the point in feeling bad about something I've done? Because I've done it, and I rationalize it, and I think, next time, eat the cake and enjoy it, or don't eat the cake. But don't eat the cake and not enjoy it. And I have a conversation with the cake as I'm kind of eating it, kind of going, oh, you're so lovely. I shouldn't be having you. But then, the
whole thing, and I say this to the people that I treat and everyone I speak to, here on the one hand, so two sides of ourselves right here. On the one hand is what we know intellectually, logically, and what we aspire to. And on the other, we go, okay, how can we make it work for ourselves? And when we're talking about diet, and of course we know this, I operate the 5-2 plan as much as I can, and the intermittent fasting, and that really works for me. I haven't actually put on that much weight, and I can tell you now, I have a manic anxiety, and I eat a lot when I'm anxious. I've been eating chocolate chips every day almost since March, and I've been walking in that. But you don't eat until a certain time in the morning, roughly between 10 to 6 p.m., and that includes alcohol after 6 p.m., 5 days a week. And the weekends, you can blow it out a little bit. And that's actually quite a nice way of working it.
Alison was asking if COVID-19 was called COVID-19 because we've all put on 19 kilos. I think she's probably right. Lovely Wendy Gray, who's a friend of ours, said she's self-soothing with Kahlua. That's very reasonable. The anxious shrink is, yes, self-soothing with Sauv Blanc.
We actually saw the same thing. I was just about to say that I just saw that, when I was distracted by the side, I saw the Kahlua thing too. So my mother ate cakes. In South Africa, it's called Cape Velvet. It's almost the same thing. It's like Bailey's. Oh my God. I've just had this horrendous thunderclap.
Is that thunder?
I've just seen this lightning outside. It's right above my house.
God, I thought you had like really, really noisy possums in the attic or something. That was incredibly loud.
God.
I don't want to alarm you, but I think you might be in the middle of a biblical storm.
Sorry, Joe.
Oh no, you sound like you're in the middle of a biblical storm. Now, this week is, we were talking about this earlier in the week. It feels like the perfect storm of anxiety. And I'm not normally an anxious person. COVID is making me a little bit anxious because I feel like we've all done everything that we could possibly to make it as good as it possibly could be. And we're in this strange place now. And you think, well, did that even work? We all thought we were doing the right thing. And then you look at the poor people in Victoria and you think, oh, heavens to Betsy. It's kind of a tough week, isn't it? What are you seeing in your practice, darling?
Sorry, I just said another lightning flash. It's like, I feel like, talk about anxious at the end of times, and then we're having this biblical storm.
I think you might be in the middle of a horror movie.
Anyway, becoming, and you're right to talk about anxious, and I am getting more irritable this week. Even now with the sound tech, I was a little bit irritable, and you handled me very well, I have to say. I was one of those doctors right at the beginning who signed that letter to the government saying we need a hard lockdown. And look at New Zealand. It's worked. So I think in a positive way, as long as I don't get incinerated, as we see.
Anxious as you are.
I'm going to get blown up in the storm. in a positive way. Now we look at, okay, if we do need to go into lockdown, and certainly Victoria they need to, shall we go for elimination and just go for it? Because this is just going to linger. And I suppose it's not so much that Victoria's had this extra wave. We're sort of expecting that, and we know but I think it just hit home this week. This is not going away. This is not going anywhere. And people now are behaving as if it's nothing. And it's sad. I'm thinking of all the grumpy old man moments I had this week. I filled up with petrol yesterday. There's very clear line, demarcation at the garage. And I'm going towards the till, and this young girl, actually a young woman, with her friend, they were chatting, and then she came towards me. I said, please go that way. And she looked at me. It was right. She said, oh, sorry, and then went and couldn't find a way. And then I had to quickly run that way, so she moved past me. And there was clearly exit and entry. Why would you not know? Or you have to be living under a rock not to know what's going on in the world at the moment, and at least try and do your bit. So part of my anxiety and part is actually a sadness that human beings can't respect each other and work together. Not all of us. Most of us can, but there are some that can't. And then looking at the States, with those people giving evidence that wearing masks takes their God-given right to free breathing away, then I just shake my head in utter sadness, and I wonder where we're going.
I watched one of those, and it was a lady saying, I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear pants. You gotta let it breathe. And it was one of those moments that you think, yeah, I do hope I never meet you. You'll terrify me. Are you putting on these sound effects because we talked about the perfect storm? Are you actually playing with us? And just is John standing on one side with a big piece of cardboard rattling it? John, where are you?
The desk actually just rattled. I'm going, oh my God, I'm talking about anxiety. I'm getting anxious that we're all going to be knocked out soon. But
Rebecca Woodhouse has just been marked. Is your roof coming off?
That's what you can hear, everyone. That is actual thunder in the Blue Mountains. We're having this massive storm at the moment. And earlier it hailed. It looked like snow. So...
Do you have plagues of locusts? And is there an elderly gentleman with a beard carrying a tablet with 10 things written on it? If so, we're in trouble.
Well, you know, there was a swarm of locusts in March in Africa, so that was a little bit worrying. But anyway, no, Rebecca, I did not stage these noises. Thank you very much. That would have taken far too much energy and planning on my part. I mean, goodness me.
We're not that good, Rebecca. We only just managed to get live. That took us about 20 minutes. So, yeah, the fact that we can be playing in sound effects is very flattering. Do you think we might be that hard?
And we just, as we do, you know, we joke, and it's a lovely connection that you and I have, and the connection's so important. All of our connections, right? And humor. So, but yeah, it is a bit discombobulating sitting here, having my desk rattled and seeing lightning through my blinds.
Now, I want to ask you, because we've only got another 7 hours with everyone, what should we stop doing? What should we keep doing? What should we start doing?
We know. Stop doing. Well, stop feeling guilt and shame, and stop feeling that we can't do anything. I think that's very useful. You've got to be careful not to feel helpless and hopeless, because there is a way out, and part of that is, so what can we do? Absolutely stay connected, follow the rules in as nice a way as possible. And I do think we need to do this. We need to call things out when we see people not acting properly. We are supposed to be in this together. And in our society, we can hopefully speak to people reasonably, and most people will respond. I don't want to think about some of the scenes in America that you know, people are spitting, and it's horrible stuff. So hopefully we're better than that. So what can we start doing or keep doing? Stay connected. We in this interesting time where we can still go to work, we're still going out, getting that balance right. And I think that's what we're doing. And I'm focusing on that. And I think a lot of people should be focusing on that. And that is helpful. And keep the exercise going. Even if you are going to comfort eat, I don't think that's a big issue. As long as you're also moving every day, going for that walk, getting up from your desk if you're home working, working from home. Even in between my patients, I get up, go downstairs, stretch a bit, go back up every now and then. Otherwise, I really, really get quite stiff and sore. And
John, does he really do that? Or is he pretending?
He's got, because I made him run around looking for the leads, and this is going, so yes, he's now watching. I don't know what he's watching anyway. Not us.
Very wise.
Which I don't watch. Anyway, so what was the third point?
So what do we start doing? What do we stop doing? And what do we keep doing?
Yeah, we keep doing things like this, chatting, connecting, and doing a little bit of movement, walking. And gyms are back open. I think people are really enjoying the socialization of that, and swimming pools. And it's amazing. We are pack animals. We do actually need to be with other people at times. So keeping that balance going as long as we can, and hopefully we won't have to go back into a hard lockdown.
I think you're right. My lovely friend Catherine Fleming is she's drinking champagne. That helps. A balance. I have to tell you this: the moment that I realised I really loved my sister-in-law before she became my sister-in-law, when I first kind of met her, she'd bought a cycling machine and she was eating chips whilst cycling. And she said, "Oh, it's just balance, isn't it?" And I thought, "Oh my God, I love you. You're the best." She's watching TV, eating hot chips and cycling. That sums up my family. She was a perfect fit.
I just see what you said, and kindness is so important. I'll come back to that because, we have to be even yesterday when I was getting irritable with the person, I went to her afterwards, actually, the young woman and she said, "I'm so sorry. I just wasn't thinking." And I said, "Hey, stay safe." And that was quite a nice interaction, actually. So, we don't have to resort to fisticuffs or harsh words.
No, kindness always wins. Otherwise, you're like that. And I think if you love bomb people, there's a chance of change. I was thinking about you during the week because I went to see my 97-year-old mother, soon to be 98 in 2 weeks. And I was saying to her, "You're almost 100. What do you think is the secret to a happy life? What's important? What would you like everyone to know?" And she said, "Be kind." She said, "Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everyone around you." And I was saying to her, "Why did you and Tommy have such a good marriage?" And they were married for like 75,000 years. And she said the same thing. She said, "We were very kind to each other. Very, very kind." And I think, yeah.
But that's so beautiful. And again, it works. It works. And I'm definitely trying when I drive to be kind. And that's not working so well. But, everywhere else, I think we can all do something. So that's something that we can all do. And we feel better when we feel in control. And this is why this is all so awful for us, because we're not in control. Our government's not in control. More presidents around the world are becoming positive. So at least it's affecting everyone, I suppose. But we all need to know that the only way we can get through this is to be kind, follow rules, be respectful, and actually don't pretend it's not happening. That's not helpful. But help.
Yeah, and I think laugh.
You can.
Yeah, watch some comedy. I think it's good to have a little bit of laugh. My cousin Ange is watching from the UK. Hello, cousin Ange. She's lovely. She's very funny.
I shouldn't know. So my brother-in-law from Scotland's on, and I've got a couple of friends and family from
brother-in-law from Scotland.
So it's a positive thing, right? That's a positive thing about this. So I have a patient who teaches spin. And so at the beginning of lockdown, they posted their main sort of clients' cycle, so you could rent it for $30 a month or something. So people were in their living rooms cycling away on the Zoom class, and then people from LA and London could dial in. So you were connected around the world, exercising and interacting. I thought that was lovely.
Yeah, let's think about sending each other video messages rather than just texts, because it's so sweet, isn't it? When you get a message from someone. My friend Graham Spencer, who's in Thailand, very, very anxious, absolutely most beautiful human being. He sends me little TikToks that are so funny, but also audio messages. And he'll just sing songs sometimes. I'll press play and it'll be him singing Diana Ross or Barbara Streisand or something. It just makes me laugh my head off. And you think, see, that's so lovely, isn't it? Such a sweet thing to do. We've got to be more thoughtful, haven't we?
It is, and it's nice. Although one of my patients this last week, and again, that perfect storm, every single one of the people I spoke to this week, and I must have spoken to 70 people, I had a busy week. They're all anxious about the second wave and what's happening, and we're all getting a bit, over it, and saying, God, I'm overeating. Although they're all saying, I'm glad I can go back to the gym and swimming and normalize my exercise for me, my routine again. Although two of them looked at me and went, Mark, I love what you say, but please tell people watching The Anxious Shrink that it's okay also to take a Valium. I said, I'm not quite sure that's my message, but she said, you know what? I'm not going to feel guilty because at times I don't want to drink. I don't want to come to it. Every now and then I take some medication that just calms me down when I do meditation or whatever. And, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Strange times. So we've got to be very kind to each other and everyone around us and balance. So if you're gonna eat hot chips, do it on the cycle machine like my sister-in-law Fran.
Absolutely. So be kind to yourself. So whatever you're using, and again, I don't judge people who are drinking or doing drugs I'm just going in a mindful way. Take control of whatever you're using in a holistic approach to your diet, sleep, exercise, routine, and your interactions. And so if you want to sit and have a tub of ice cream and Kahlua one night, you go, okay, for the next 5, I'm going to really, be healthy.
Yes, exactly. Dan, we should probably go because we said we'd finish this at after 20 minutes. We were 24 minutes. So we could be in naughty corner.
But just to end, look, everyone, have a lovely Sunday wherever you are, Sunday evening. I do believe that being in this brings us together, and I think that's an important point. And whatever you're doing, don't feel guilty about it, but just incorporate it into your plan and have a great week. And we'll see you next week on this, hopefully. But I'll also end, if anything is being brought up for you now, like storm phobia or whatever the word is that I was subjected to. But if you do feel a little bit like, wow, you're sighing and you need some help or more input, or you need to speak to someone, please phone a friend, family member, or Lifeline saying Beyond Blue. Just talk to someone, please, rather than just feel worse.
Yes, there are loads of people out there to help, aren't there? And they want to help.
Yes, and we need to also push our governments to continue telehealth, to continue improving and enlarging on our psychological, psychotherapy and social interventions. We're going to need them more.
Yes, they're working for us, aren't they? Now, should we do this together next week? Shall I come and see you in the Blue Mountains?
Yes,
although I'm quite scared now.
Because then we can work on the tech issues together without me getting completely supercharged and going, I didn't swear.
You're good.
I thought that was quite good. So I think we should end here because...
Do you want to squeeze one out now before we pop off?
No, I think it's a lovely Sunday evening.
Good. It's Sunday. Let's not. Everybody who joined us, thank you so much. Tammy, Robin, Catherine, Rebecca, Hilary, Anne, Ange. We'll see you next week. And Mark, always a joy to see your sweet face and to hear your marvelous wisdom. You're very, very kind.
No, so are you, Maz. It's always lovely to talk to you.
Bye, darling. Have a lovely evening. I don't know how to switch this off now. End. I'm guessing we didn't check that one, did we? We could run for the rest of our lives. Bye, darling.
Bye.